Take a look at a world map, from Germany to Japan to the Middle East to tiny islands in the Pacific. The United States has military bases scattered across the planet. Not just a few, hundreds of them. In fact, the U.S. operates military bases in more than 80 countries, a global network unlike anything the world has ever seen. But this raises a bigger question. Why would one country need military bases thousands of miles away from its own borders? Are they there to defend allies, to stop wars before they start, or are they part of a much larger strategy to maintain global power? Because behind every base, whether it's a massive airfield in Europe or a small radar station on a remote island, there is a strategic reason, a reason connected to war, geopolitics, trade routes, and global influence. And once you understand how this network was built, you'll start to see the world map very differently. In this video, we're going to break down how the United States built the largest military network in history and why it still exists today. To understand why the United States has military bases across the world, we need to go back to the end of one of the most destructive conflicts in human history, the World War II. When the war ended in 1945, much of Europe and Asia was in ruins. Countries that had once been global powers were struggling to rebuild. But the United States emerged from the war stronger than ever, with the most powerful military and economy in the world. And suddenly, a new rivalry began. The United States found itself facing another superpower, the Soviet Union. This global standoff became known as the Cold War. Unlike previous wars, this conflict wasn't fought with direct battles between the two powers. Instead, it was about influence, alliances, and strategic positioning. And military bases became one of the most important tools in that strategy. The logic was simple. If the United States could place troops, aircraft, and equipment close to potential conflict zones, it could respond to threats much faster, so bases started appearing across key regions of the world. In Europe, bases helped defend NATO allies and deter Soviet expansion. In Japan and South Korea, they served as a buffer against instability in East Asia. In the Middle East, bases protected critical oil routes and strategic trade corridors. Over time, this network expanded, turning into a global system of military infrastructure. Today, the United States maintains hundreds of installations worldwide, from massive air bases to small surveillance stations. Some of the largest hubs exist in countries like Germany, Japan, and South Korea. These bases allow the United States Department of Defense to move troops, aircraft, and naval forces across the globe at incredible speed. For example, if a crisis erupts somewhere in the world, military forces can be deployed within hours rather than days. But the bases are not only about responding to war. They also play a role in intelligence gathering, missile defense systems, and monitoring potential adversaries. And perhaps most importantly, they signal something powerful to the rest of the world: presence. Because when a country has military infrastructure nearby, it sends a message, both to allies and to rivals. So the network of American military bases isn't just about defense, it's about global strategy. These bases allow the United States to project power far beyond its own borders, controlling sea lanes, protecting allies, and maintaining influence in key regions. Supporters argue that this system helps maintain international stability and prevents conflicts from escalating. Critics, however, see it differently. They argue that such a large military footprint can also create tensions and fuel geopolitical rivalries. Either way, one thing is undeniable: no other country in history has built a global military network on this scale. And that's why, when you look at a world map today, those scattered military bases aren't random at all. They are part of a carefully built system designed over decades, a system that continues to shape global politics even now. Because in geopolitics, power isn't just about how strong you are. Sometimes it's about where you are positioned.